So in today's video, we'll be going over how to plot points. So for this question, it says plot the points -2, 4, 3, 3, and 0, -3 in the plane. So points, or ordered pairs, is a different name for it. They're written in this formula like this. It's x, y. So your x is going to be your first number, and then y is going to be your second number. So as you move from left to right or right to left, or essentially just horizontally, that is going to be your x value. As you move up and down, or essentially just vertically, that's going to be your y. So we want to graph these points on this graph. So we know that -2, 4, that's the first point we're going to do. It's saying the x is going to be -2. So negative is going to be the left side of the graph, for at least for x. So negative is going to be your left. So we start at -1, -2. Okay, so that's where our x is going to go, at that -2. But we need to figure out that y. Remember, y is going up and down vertically. So y, positive is going to be up, negative is going to be down. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we start at -2 for the x, then we go up to 4 for the y, which is going to be right here. So that's the first point. The second point is 3, 3. So x is going to be 3. Anytime you have a positive x, that's going to be to your right, the opposite direction of negative. So we have 1, 2, 3. And then we already have 3 written for the y, so we don't need to write it out. I don't need to write the lines for the numbers. So we have 3 for the x and 3 for the y, so the point is going to be right here. And then finally we have 0, -3. And so remember, if positive y is going to be up, the negative has to be down. So it's going to be -1, -2, then -3. So x is going to be 0, but notice we don't have a 0 on the graph. We don't have like a number, like a little line with a number for it. So 0, anytime you have one of the values 0, it's going to be at the y value of the origin or the x value of the origin. So this is your origin. The origin is located at 0, 0. So if you have a y at the value of 0, it's going to be the same y value as the origin, which is 0. If you have a x value that's 0, it's going to be at the same x value of 0. So in this case, we have that same x value of 0. So it's going to be at 0, in between -1 and 1. And then for our y value, we have -3. So all we got to do is just go down to right here, and that's our last point. So for this next question, it says graph the equation y equals -x plus 2 by plotting points. So we're going to do our graph. Remember, x is going to be horizontally, left or right. Then our y is going to be vertically, up and down. So we don't have a specific range they want this graph in. It didn't say, oh, you just plot like 3 points or go up to x is 5 and -5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot 3 points, and we can get a basic idea of what the graph is going to look like. So for the first point, I'm going to do 0. I'm going to say x is going to be 0. So when we do that, we'll say x is going to be 0. So we have -0, because that's what we substitute in for x, plus 2. And we're going to get negative times 0 is 0. So 0 plus 2. And then y is going to equal 2. So x is going to be 0, y is going to be 2. So the point is going to be 0, 2. So we need to draw the y values for that. So it's 1 and 2. Remember in the middle, it's the origin. That's 0, 0. That's the order pair for it. So at x is going to be at the origin, and then the y it's going to be at 2. So it's going to be right here. So then we're going to do x equals 1. We're going to see what we get. So we'll say x is equal 1, and we're going to substitute x for 1. So a negative times a positive is always going to give you a negative. So negative times 1 is going to give you -1, and then plus 2. So y is going to give you 1. So the point is going to have a value of x equals 1 and y equals 1. So it's going to be 1, 1, which is going to be right here. So we can connect these lines, and then we'll do one more. So we'll do x equals -1, just to see what happens. So we have y equals negative, and then we're going to substitute x for -1 plus 2. Negative times negative gives you a positive, so it's going to be a +1 plus 2. So y is going to equal 3. So the point, let me write -1, and I also need to write the 3 up top. So it's going to be -1 for the x, y for the 3. So this is going to be, wait, what did I say? Y for the 3? 3 for the y, sorry. And then we're going to connect these points. So the graph is going to look something like this. It's a rough sketch.